Who? Hot and bright. David Mitchell. Welcome to another episode of Outside Shots. We are in studio. Man, it feels like it's been like a couple months, maybe something like that. And we got Mr. Cubby over here, Ernie Banks, aka Eddie Johnson, for another episode of Outside Shots. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. As you all know, it is down to Ott and Bryant because it just got dropped via Shams this morning, saying that the Suns are basically down to two candidates, and it is going to be. I think a lot of people are a little concerned because of the Ott possibility, the Michigan State ties. People wondering if that's going to have the biggest influence on whether or not they hire Ott or not, but hey, that's what we'll lead off with this morning. Two finalists in position to become the next Suns head coach. The according to Shams, that hire is going to come probably by the end of the week. So we'll see if Jordan Ott gets the nod or if it's going to be Johnny Bryant. Do you know either one of these two individuals?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I know a lot of coaches in the league. I know a ton of assistant coaches. I think I met Bryant before, but no.
Okay.
I don't.
Your overall response to that?
Well, I just knew they were going to go young. And if not young, new in regards to head coaching experience. Somebody different with no agenda, maybe open to suggestion, open to how, an argument to challenge how they're going to coach.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to think about the last three coaches we've had, and rightly so, have, not set in their ways per se, but set in their philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
Monty comes from a championship organization, San Antonio. Vogel won a championship with the Lakers, had success in the Pacers, and then Budenholzer wins a championship in Milwaukee, has success in Atlanta. Come with attitude, not attitude in a bad way, but a persona of this is how I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do my job, let me do my job, and you do your job, right? And maybe not movable in regards to suggestions. And whereas I would think because of the newness of the coach, and I'm sure it's been a conversation, that they're going to be open to suggestion, that they're not going to be as rigid. And that's what a new coach does, presumably.
Yeah.
Well, some don't. I mean, Derek Fisher took over in New York, and he wasn't that open-minded. Terry Porter, Suns hired him as coach years ago, right? And
Mm-hmm.
he was pretty much set that he was going to end 7 seconds or less.
Mm-hmm.
So, it all depends. I'm sure the interviews have gone really in depth to making sure that is some movability, and so Mark Daigneault type of situation,
Okay.
G League,
Yeah.
had to really work his way up. And, they were able to work with him. Presti was able to work with him, suggest with him, be patient with me, all of that. And look what we see now. They have an opportunity to win a championship.
Yeah. So I think it's interesting that you use the word, kind of set in their ways, that phrase. I think when I look at these two guys, I feel like it's kind of like when you're on Twitter. Some days you feel like you just want to go at people, and other days you just don't have time for it, right? Well, I feel like with the younger coaches, they have time today. right? Like they have the energy, they have the enthusiasm, they have the determination to try and make things happen, change things, and not let things get too stagnant or let guys continue to do the wrong things over and over and over again, because they have the energy to really, expel, to get things the right way. Whereas the older guys, Bud, Vogel, what have you, they were so set in their ways, and they knew that their way had worked at one point in time, that when somebody wasn't doing their way, I feel like maybe to some degree, it's not really worth it to try and address that or move that or, really hold that accountable to a high degree. So I think that when you're talking about the future of this franchise and where they're going with these coaches, I think that, listen, I'm glad that they're going a little younger. I think they needed to, because I just don't think that the relation to this younger generation of player was really targeting where they wanted to go. And overall, again, as Matt Ishbia said in his presser, like the identity of the entire franchise was just all over the place. And who better to try and corral that than a young, enthusiastic coach who can relate to players a little bit better and understand the different nuances of development and the process of building your program to a high level. And so listen, I'm not going to be one of those people out there that think, oh, I know that this assistant coach is going to be the guy, or this assistant coach is going to be like, we don't know shit. We don't know anything. We don't know. We have no idea. We don't know if Chris Quinn would have been good. We have no idea if Johnny Bryant's going to be good. We have no idea if Jordan Ott's going to be good. We have no idea about any of these people. Just hire the most reliable, responsible, and most importantly, competent individual you can get. And if you think that this person is the one, then good. We're just going to have to trust that. So
yeah, a lot of luck with coaches, as you just said. It's no definite. No one knew Mark Daigneault would be as good a coach as he's been. No one knew that in a lot of ways, when you think about it, if you look at all the young coaches, that have come into the league. J.J. Redick, some people thought he would fail last year. I don't think he failed. It's just no rhyme or reason. And coaching is, man, just how you relate to your players. A lot of people, they start to look at the X's and O's and the system they came into and all that. Plays a role, but, man, it's motivation, man. How you get your players up every day, focus, right for the journey, the 82-game marathon, get along with each other. That part, man, to me, after I had 12 coaches playing in the NBA, 12. The best coaches I had were the ones that could motivate the entire team. Like, and the only way you do that is get to know the players.
Mm-hmm.
Bud didn't do that from what I see. It's just me on the periphery looking. Like, it seemed to be some disconnect. I'm the coach, you the player, do what I tell you, that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
That junk don't work, man.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work in any era. It does not work. You have to get to know the players past their damn name. You have to get to know the players past what you think you know of them. That's the key. Yeah, my phone's ringing. That's my sister. But anyway, you have to get the players. Would you stop calling me, please?
All you have to do is hit the side button, man.
She knows.
You just answered the call and hung up on her.
Yeah, because I wanted to hear my voice.
All you had to do was hit the side button.
She knows. When she hears my voice and I hang up, she knows I'm busy. My whole family knows that. Seriously. Like, it just lets me know that I know they called and they heard me.
Okay.
And they say, okay, he's busy.
All right.
That's our now you know the Johnson mentality.
I got you.
But if you think about it, man, like, Saul, that's a coach, man. It's so much past X's and O's. Like, any offense works if all 15 players like it.
Yeah.
Any offense. I don't care what offense you run. It works if all players can do it and they like it. If they don't like it, it's not going to work. The triangle only worked for 2 teams, and it was always led by Phil Jackson. Some coaches tried it. Steve Kerr does some nuances of it because he played in it in Golden State. But, the Princeton offense, Eddie Jordan ran that in New Jersey. They went to the finals 2 times. It's just like Rick Carlisle, what he's doing in Indiana. Well, you can't play his offense if you're not willing to run. You can't. So the coach has to find out what system is good for the players he has, and then once he has it, he's got to sell them on it. And then now after that, he's got to be an excellent coach in communication, getting them up and ready to go every night, setting rules, all of that, and then things happen. Because ultimately, coaches don't shoot no jumpers. Coaches don't defend. Coaches don't pass. The players do. And if you can get those players to think and play at the highest level, then you're going to look like a damn good coach.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. It's not in the best coaches I had. Cotton Fitzsimmons, the best coach I ever had. George Karl, excellent coach. Excellent. Those guys, to me, are the top 2. Rudy Tomjanovich is up there. Tremendous coach. He knew how to handle older players. Those 3 guys understood coaching to the highest level. All due respect to my other coaches. But those 3 stand out the best for me as an individual. And I saw how they operated. And so that's what I look for, man, when I look at coaches. I just thought, Vogel, excellent coach, disconnect. I just thought it was somewhat of a disconnect. And Budenholzer, disconnect. And you just can't have that. You just can't have it. The Bowl situation with Budenholzer, and that's a small piece. But that piece right there, if I'm on the team and I'm watching it, and I'm saying, man, if he'd do that to him, what makes me think he wouldn't do it to me?
Yeah.
Everybody's got to be equal. Dude came off, dude started playing, he's averaging 18 and 9.
Mm-hmm.
Then he stopped playing them.
Yeah.
He didn't give a reason. If I'm Bobo sitting over them, and then if I'm his teammate and I'm looking it's like, you can't have it, man. And so for me, we got to just take the time to judge whoever the new coach is and see. But I'm happy that it's 2 guys that have not been regurgitated and guys that are going to be fresh, guys that are going to be hungry and hopefully willing to listen.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because we can go from now to before, and we're sitting here and looking at all this transition, and I can't help but think, man, what if, right? What if we're looking at 2 teams in the OKC Thunder and the Indiana Pacers who have reached the finals, and they didn't do it by getting all the big time, players in the league or trading for multiple assets. The OKC Thunder, obviously they did their roster construction via the draft, accruing a lot of draft picks over the course of the last decade, it feels like. And it's just been kind of crazy. Indiana, kind of a little bit of both. They made some shrewd moves in free agency, but they also, obviously they drafted some talented players. And now you're looking at both teams who have decent depth. I think when you're looking at OKC and Indy, to me, they match up fairly well. I think OKC has the advantage because defensively they are just a little bit better than Indiana. But Indiana could easily score at a super high level. And we've seen that obviously against the Knicks in this last round. I'm really intrigued about this, but it took me back because I kept thinking, damn it. I every time I think of the Kevin Durant trade, I think of Monty Williams' phrase or the quote he told Mikal Bridges when he was on his way out. He said, "Don't be disappointed because you just got traded for one of the greatest players of all time." And while that was true, there's also a part of me that felt like, man, Mikal Bridges probably isn't going to go down as one of the greatest players of all time, but he's not a scrub. And he's not just some, after the fact kind of player alongside Cam Johnson and 4 first-round draft picks, right? And you're looking at this, and I just kind of feel like I wonder if Ishbia and Bartlestein and James Jones and company, if they could have a redo and just pump the brakes in terms of trying to make an immediate impact on day one of ownership and just kind of see this team for what it was first, if anything would have been different. And it's hard to not look at what might have transpired in the next couple of years and look at Indiana and OKC and not think that the Suns wouldn't be somewhere around there. Now, they might not have been, because maybe they still move on from Monty and they still get a cluster F of coaches that don't know what the heck's going on to the point where you need to get to a championship consistently. But it just felt like maybe something was a little bit more solid at that time, and we thought it was going to be elevated, and it's actually gone in the opposite direction, which makes it even worse. And I just thought that was an interesting thought exercise to think about, where would the Suns be if they didn't make the KD trade? Where would the Suns be if they didn't bring in Bradley Beal? Where would the Suns be if they didn't fire Monty Williams? Like, all these things that kind of led us down the path to where we are now.
Where would you be if you weren't working with me?
Hey, I'm telling you, I'd probably be, happy.
So I hear you, man. Look, I hear you, man. That's life.
Yeah.
Right? That's life, man. And
it just
from
sucks.
a fan perspective, that's what a fan is going to do, because a fan doesn't have control.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing you can do is react. You can't make something happen. Past, spending your money coming to the games, you're making something happen. You're making it easy for the Suns to be able to go out and pay players and find players and improve the facility and make your experience at a Suns game top level. Yes, you play a role in that, but you don't play a role in structuring the team. You don't. And it's a very difficult job, man. It's like, we can say what after, but this is what I would say to you. After we went up 2-0 in that finals,
mm-hmm.
and we got our heads handed to
mm-hmm.
us by a dude on one leg, Giannis, because he wasn't healthy, all right? And then the following year, we get embarrassed in a Game 7.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw all the complaints then. Come on, Mikal, his shot flat. You can't, Cam can't stay healthy. Chris Paul old. DeAndre Ayton, he got no hands. He's soft. One of the worst first picks ever. We could have had Luka. Come on, man. I can go back and I can regurgitate all the complaints
mm-hmm.
that I was getting from Suns fans. Ad nauseum, just consistently about that team. Okay? And so it forces an organization to start to look at certain things. And all of a sudden, what are you going to do? Like, if you're a GM and you're an owner, what are you going to do? Like, you're saying, is this going to continue? Like, can we actually win with this group?
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, a dude comes on the horizon, Kevin Durant, that went to Golden State. Yeah, granted, they were already championship ready, but I would say they weren't going to win another one until they got him, and he gets finals MVP in both, and he's their best player. All due respect to Steph. KD's best player on that team. All right? And then he's averaging 27, 50%, close to 40 from three. He's come back from injury and playing at an insane level. His toe on the line stopped him from dragging Brooklyn probably to a finals, okay? And you're looking at that as a fan, and you're like, we can get that? And when we got him, it was the arena was filled. The first game he was gonna play, it was filled an hour and a half before the game, watching him warm up. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then he sprains his ankle in the warm-up.
Yeah.
But ever since then, regardless, whatever you say, he's given exactly what we expected in regards to his individual play. Every night shows up 27, shoot 50.
Yeah. No,
I mean,
without a doubt.
So, but we have not, we've still come up short. So is it KD? See, that's the question I want to ask Suns fans. So is it KD? Now, you can point to Bradley Beal. But what I say about Bradley Beal, and I keep telling people, his contract, you would love to have a contract like that, one. Two, it's not his fault. He's got a great agent, okay? And three, from a production standpoint, he's a 50, 40, 88 guy.
Oh,
He just can't
triggered.
stay healthy. Let me finish. He can't stay healthy. He just can't stay healthy. Okay, is that his fault? Because he's not Zion. He ain't freaking overweight. He ain't overweight. He's got bad luck. I can name a lot of people get bad luck, getting injury. So my point is, that part hasn't worked out. Okay, I get it. That part hasn't worked out. But from a production standpoint, it has. Okay, it has. If I told you we could go get a guy shoots 50% from the field, 40 from three, probably our best guard rebounder on the team. All right. All right. So if I told you that without telling you his name, fans would be like, oh yeah, ooh, let's go get him. Right? Ooh, yeah, oh yeah. Right? That's what you would say. But since you know who it is, now you want to push back because he can't stay healthy. Okay, fine. So those guys giving you production.
You got to throw that in there, though. You got to throw in how many games he's missed. In
I said injury. I said injury's a problem.
Okay.
I said injury's a problem.
But I'm saying, if you told me on paper, like you just said,
right,
you got to throw that in there too.
But you can't say that because you played the game. You don't know when you're gonna get injured. Some guys just got bad luck, man. He one of them. But it's not bad luck based on being out of shape. So it's not bad luck on you look at him visibly and say, he's a walking injury. Dude got about 3% body fat. Like, so you look at him, they just looked at all these guys at the combine, and they're going to draft a guy. And 4 of those guys going to have injury problems. But when you look at him, you understand, like, he ripped. Like, that's all you can go on, and then his history, right? Cam Johnson had a history in college. He had bad leg problems and all that. So he came in when people knew that, and that followed him. Okay, he's had his injury problems consistently. Bradley Beal didn't have that at Florida. So how you going to know? But he's got bad luck. I get that. So what I'm saying to you, and I'll finish, it comes down to a couple of things. See, and that's the things that we need to look at too. It comes down to stop blaming the players quickly all the time. It could have been the coach. It could have been. We don't know because we've had struggle with, with the last 2. But what if, Saul, what if?
I'm so ready to go right now.
Well, that's fine.
Go ahead.
Since we on the ifs, what if, and I keep telling people this, I've been saying it on the radio stations all off season. What if we bring back the same team? Same team.
From this past year?
Yeah. Same team. Now, there'd be some wrinkles, obviously. You
Sure,
know.
Sure.
What if we brought back the same team? But it's a new coach. It's a new attitude. You got new assistants. And all of a sudden, everything aligns with the planets and all of that. And they win. What we going to look back and say? Because if you could take Devin's 27, KD's 27, Say somehow Brad stays healthy, right? Let's say Grayson doesn't come back looking like double Hercules.
Yeah.
Okay? Bobo works on this game, and all of a sudden this coach likes him. Nick Richards, who I happen to like, works on this game, comes back, he's better. Right? All I'm saying to you is this. What if all it was the right system, the right coach from a respect level to push them and get them to blend in better for each other, right? What if it was that? Because we knew early in the year, people were saying, what were they saying? Oh, they go to the finals.
Yeah.
We were 8-1. They could go to the finals. Everyone was saying it. Everyone, all national media, everybody was saying the Phoenix Suns, that team we had last year, had a chance to go to the finals. That's what they said.
They said that.
So my point is, it's like getting a house. You get a house, and some people can just see. If they can just put a little into it, it just turns out beautiful. Right? Maybe that's it, man. Instead of like blowing it up, trading everybody, starting over. Like that's the conundrum that we're in right now. And that's why I always say, sometimes, man, you gotta be patient, man. Everybody was pushing Oklahoma City to do what? And I was too. Man, y'all ain't got enough.
Yeah.
Y'all not physical enough, man.
You're talking about
y'all too small, man. Y'all too small. Like, I gotta eat crow now. If they win the title, I'm gonna apologize to Sam Presti and say, you know what, dude? You were right. You were right.
Yeah.
Like, it was people that picked the Clippers. Was the Clippers? No, they picked I picked the Clippers to beat them in the second round. A lot of people didn't pick OKC to get all the way to where they are right now. So that is the point. Like, you know, we've never won a title here in this town. We've changed. That's what we've done. We've traded. So, patience. Jeez. Patience, man. Like,
I get it.
I'm talking about from a point of you seeing production. We got two dudes, Saul, that average 27 and efficient. And Devin didn't have his most efficient year.
No.
But when you have two dudes like that, and every team in the league would line up to get them, and you give it away, it's hard, man. It's hard.
All right.
Be careful.
Okay. All right.
Be careful.
You good?
Be careful.
All right. This is what I'm going to say about all this.
Well, don't say all of it.
There's
For
a portion of what you said. Okay. Listen, if you've been in the Discord, some of y'all hit me up on Twitter and you guys have been like, oh man, we need a Saul rant. Well, here you go. I don't give a damn about 27 points a game. I don't give a damn about any of that, because if you don't win games, it doesn't matter. And the analytics and the stats, I could give two shits about any of that when you win 36 games. I don't care how awesome you are at scoring. If you can't put a W in the column, what does it matter? What does it matter? And it buys into this whole like fanboy thing about like, and I like Kevin Durant, and I like Devin Booker, and I like Bradley Beal, but it didn't work. I don't care. Like, that's like, it's like when you walk in to a house that's been flipped and aesthetically it looks amazing, but when you actually get up close, it's all effed up. Like, that's what it makes me feel like. It's like we got these beautiful pieces, but it doesn't work together, like, for whatever reason. And then nobody wants to put the blame on any of those guys. It's like, oh, well, they did their part because they got these stats. Somebody's got to hold them accountable. Like, yeah, coaching matters 1,000,000% for sure. Like, and I think the coaches have been such a clusterfuck that it doesn't even matter anymore. But like, these guys have a lot of control over that. They had so much control. The whole thing is built around these guys. And they couldn't even win more than 36 games. 36 games! Like, what are we doing here? You can't... Dude, I don't care what coach... It could be a reincarnation of Chuck Daly or freaking Greg Popovich. It doesn't matter. If you don't have the right DNA and you don't have the right system around them, they're not going to win. And system means more than just like scoring 27 points a game. It means what are the intangibles that you're also bringing to the table? What's going on in the locker room that has everybody so dysfunctional that it doesn't even make sense to go out there on the court together? Like, I can't comprehend it at all, because somewhere there was a massive disconnect, and that disconnect could have come from the coach. But if I'm Devin Booker or if I'm Kevin Durant, I'll be damned if I sign my name to 36 motherfucking wins. I'm so tired of it. I am so tired of it. I don't care. You have to win. If you are a superstar, you have to win. That's all that matters. I'm so over this complacency. Oh, well, these excuses for every single person, the coaching, the organization, the players are the ones that have the impact. You said that. Like, these guys are plenty good enough to win more than 36 games in the season, but somehow, some way, it didn't work. So you have to evaluate it all. And I don't know.
I told you.
I don't know. It's not just the coach, though.
No, I didn't say that.
And it's not just the organization.
I didn't say
all
that.
All these players are responsible. Every single one of them. Not just Kevin Durant. Not just Devin Booker. Not just Bradley Beal. Not just Grayson. They're all responsible. But, hey, EJ, you've played with other dudes like this before. They will just not let you fail, or they will fight you if you are being complacent. Is that happening? Our guy, like, the only thing I will say is when I heard Coach Bud go off about Devin Booker needing to be quiet, F that dude. F that dude. I'm glad he's gone. He should have been gone a long time ago. He should have been gone after the second month of the season. He should have never got that job in the first place. He was completely inefficient. He was unqualified, and he was a terrible coach. He was an awful coach. He cared more about off the court bullshit than he did on the court. That's a damn fact. I'm so over it. I'm so effing over it. I'm done. That has been 6 months.
You want to put my watch on?
6 months of just sitting here, holding my tongue, not saying what I really wanted to say. I think my blood pressure's up.
You just raised mine. I'm looking at mine. Mine went up.
Oh my God, man.
Listen, man.
I'm so tired of losing.
What you just said, look, I get it. Saul, what you just said is what all Suns fans are saying. And I get it. Okay? And this is no disrespect to you or your Suns fans. Sometimes people take it as a disrespect when I say that it's easy, like it's not, you don't get the total picture because you haven't been in that professional locker room. And I'm telling you, man, I gave you an example a while back when I first went to Seattle. And how dysfunctional
it was, yeah.
It was dysfunctional, man. When I tell you dysfunctional at the highest level. I came from a 55-win Suns team, back-to-back Western Conference Finals, playing a huge role. And I get traded for Xavier McDaniel, okay, to Seattle. I'm excited. I am so excited, man. I'm like, okay, I'm leaving. I'm sad. I got to pick up, family up. I get it. Got a newborn. I get it. But my time had come to an end at that point. Cotton and I loved him to death. He's like a dad to me. But we started hitting the wall with each other. And I never wanted that to ruin my relationship with him. And it was the best thing for both of us that I left. And we became closer after that. But they traded me, man. And they traded me to a team that had talent like this one. Like this one. We had more talent there. We had Sean Kemp. We had Gary Payton. We had Ricky Pierce. We had Michael Cage. At one point, we had Benoit Benjamin, traded him. We had Sam Perkins, a champion. We had Derek McKee, myself, Dana Barros. We had the most talented team, Sedale Threet, most talented team in the league from top to bottom. Not the best team, not saying we had the best player, but from 15, that's what we had. Okay? I walk in the damn locker, in the hotel. The first thing Sedale Threet says to me after I got off a plane, already sad, the dude looks at me and says, "Welcome to the Twilight Zone." I went upstairs. If my wife was on this show, she'd tell you. I cried like a baby. I said, "Can you believe that I have been traded to this?" On the plane to Milwaukee to meet the team, I was excited. I'm like, oh man, all this talent. I'm a lead like no other. I want to prove it to the Suns that we can that we can beat them and all this. They had lost 13 out of 15 games when I had gotten there. I go up to the room to meet with KC Jones. Love KC. Love him. Trust me, I'm going to say this, but I loved him. I loved watching him as a coach in Boston. I watched him as a player, everything. And when I met him, extremely nice man. I walk in the room. Now, yeah, granted, 6th man of the year, averaged 20 points a number of years, just averaged 18. They just traded for me. I walk in the room, and he looks at me. It's just he and I. He looks at me and he says, "Well, what do you like to do?" What? What do I like to do? I like to shoot that motherfucker. What do you mean I like to do? I like to score. That's what I do. You don't know who you traded for? I leave out of the room. I'm just devastated. I'm like, you know what? What in the world has happened to me? Go to practice. They show up late. Practice at 11. They showing up at 11:10. Look, listen, it was dysfunctional at its finest. Do you hear me, man? And then it's raining every damn day in Seattle. So I left the sun, and now I'm up in the rain. Okay? So I'm saying to myself, Nate McMillan's on that team, okay? So I'm saying to myself, Eddie, don't give in to it. How am I going to fix this? Well, one thing happened. I had to go at Gary Payton.
Yeah, you told me that.
And I did. Okay?
Because he was the head of the snake.
He was young, and he was just talking a lot. And I just went at him. He accepted it. He and I like brothers. I love him to death. We talk all the time. I had to go at him. I had to go at Sean. They accepted it. Then they started seeing a look on my face when we lost games. And I wouldn't talk to anybody. And they'd be like, "What's wrong with him?" I'm like, "I'm being me, dude. I hate to freaking lose. We too talented for this."
Yeah.
And so lo and behold, what happened is they fired KC Jones the following year. They fired, but during the course of that season is what I'm talking about here. We went from out of the playoffs with that team, with KC coaching. We went all the way, got to the 8th spot. We had to make up like 10 or 15 games. It was crazy. We get to the 8th spot. We're playing Portland, who had the best record in the league. And at that time, first round was 5 games. Mm-hmm. Took them to 5. Almost beat them. Following year, went to the second round. Third year, went to the conference finals. That's when the Suns beat us.
Mm-hmm.
Next year, they went to the finals.
Yep.
Like, all I'm saying is like, and it was all because, one, coach changed, two, attitude changed. That's how it works, man. Like, you know, if they had traded all those guys, Seattle wouldn't have, they wouldn't have never accomplished any of that. If they had traded Gary and said, forget it. They had traded Sean, forget it. They would have never accomplished that, man. So that's what I'm saying to you is that it can take a little something. Coach, players, attitude adjustment, desire, all of that can turn into wins.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Listen, you're not wrong. Like you're not wrong at all. But what I am saying is I think more than anything, my venting was more of my disappointment in that, you know, potentially the greatest player to ever put on a Suns jersey, or will go down as the all-time scoring leader in Suns history, obviously, in Devin Booker, and one of the greatest all-time players of all time in Kevin Durant. Those two weren't able to rise up and get this team above 36 wins, and that's ultimately, to me, that's very disappointing because their legacies are still on the line, and you know, and at every turn you're always comparing this, that, and the other, and stuff like that.
Let me correct something.
Yeah,
you're right.
96, they got to the finals.
Denver upset them. I was happy as heck because they traded me after that, and then they went to the finals. Okay, yes, but they had the best record in the league.
Yeah.
They had the best record in the league when Denver upset them. So that's the point. The improvement was crazy for that team.
And that was my next point. Royal Sus Lugan Storts says, but the Seattle team was somewhat young. KD is 36 going 37.
That's
he has
true.
1 year left on his deal.
That's
Need to
true.
get value for him before we lose him. And I a million percent. Also, Optical
You're
Illusion a little
that.
bit earlier also had a super chat or had a chat that said right there, says this is not just a coach issue or just a player issue. It's a complete failure on all levels. 1,000,000%. Again, my venting was more of just the fact that I just expected more in terms of the level of ability to raise everything despite the obstacles against you because of the caliber of player that we thought those three would be together, and especially those two, Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, right? Like that's, and I don't think, listen, if Kevin Durant was right here, I would say the same exact thing. I don't care. Like, listen, Kevin Durant would tell you like 36 wins is trash. Like we should have been better. Like he would say that. So would Devin Booker. And those two, I have no doubt, are so pissed and disappointed in how this season went that they're constantly thinking about all offseason. There's not a doubt in my mind.
Saul, they would. But you listen to the telecast, man. I was not on board with either of them dudes handling the ball as much as they did.
No, neither was I.
I was not on board with that. I was not on board with not getting a point guard, okay? And then when we finally got one, Budenholzer didn't let him play point guard.
He didn't know how to do it. Yeah, he
didn't let him.
He didn't know how to construct it around him.
That's my point, man. Like sometimes, man, it just takes a Band-Aid. And we don't know if it'll work or not. But this Indiana team, they were thinking about trading Miles Turner forever. Matter of fact, they signed DeAndre Ayton to an offer sheet, and we were going to have to take Miles Turner back. Miles Turner now is a center for a team in the finals.
Damn.
Like, so all I'm saying is sometimes, man, like in this league, I've been around it too much, is that sometimes people want to change everything. And what I'm saying to you, and you're right, all I'm saying to you is we have two unbelievable scores. Okay? Really three. If Beal could stay healthy, the dude led the league in scoring 2 years. We have three unbelievable guys that can put the ball in the basket. So what do? You put people around them that help them, and so they can just do their job. Mm. Be the assassins that they are. And then other people fill in and do the job that is counted on them to do. That's what we're seeing in Oklahoma City. That's exactly what we're seeing. We're seeing Shea. We're seeing Jalen Williams. We're seeing Chet Holmgren. We didn't see a lot of them this year because he got injured. Those three shoot all the balls. The others, you see what they're doing. Play their role, defend. They just do, that's what they're doing, and they're winning. That's what it takes. What our three scorers have to do is the hardest thing to do in the game, is to put that orange ball in the basket. To have to count on them to do so many other things. It wore them down. We saw it. We saw KD bringing the ball up, trap him at half court. We saw Devin bring the ball up, trap him at half court. And what happened? Turn the ball over. We went through one stretch where they were so fatigued that we couldn't even win in the fourth quarter. We were the worst team in the league in the fourth quarter. It was because of fatigue. And look, for me, calling the games, I didn't like it. I would call it out. I would always do it. And I thought, when we finally got some guards, Budenholzer didn't let him play guard. He didn't let him play point. So that's all I'm saying. So let's hope the new coach saw that and he'll see it and he'll make that adjustment and know that he's got some assassins offensively. Assassins. How do we build around it? That's it, man. And get guys to play their role, man, and be happy in their role. And then you will see the wins. They will start to win. And so, yeah, if they go ahead and trade KD and whoever else they bring in, if they do trade KD and all of that, that philosophy still has to be the same.
Yeah.
It does, man. And if it's not, you won't win. I'm telling you, I used to cringe over there as I would see Devin having to go east to west to bring the ball up. And I'm saying, damn, by the time he gets in the half court, it's 14 seconds. And now we got to just go one-on-one.
Yep.
I mean, like, the movement of the ball and all of that, to me, should be the MO of this team. And so hopefully that'll be the case, man.
Hopefully.
We'll find out. It's just rapidly approaching. I mean, you got finals will be over here in a week and a half, 2 weeks. The draft is coming up, free agency, summer league. It's just rampant, man. Like, I'm on a plane tomorrow to go to the finals. I got to work and get that over with, and then I got to go off to the draft. So it's just, we got some time here. And I just think Suns fans obviously are going to stay on board. We got the best fans in the world. We've never won a title. And we know that the Suns are the baby of Phoenix. We know. And so, you just got to be patient. Look, that's why I showed up with a Cub jersey on.
My God.
You talking about patience? You talking about patience? The Diamondbacks won a damn World Series in the, third, fourth year?
Mm-hmm.
Cubs was like 100 years. They finally got it in 2016. You know about patience?
Yeah.
I epitomize patience. Diehard Cub fan. Am I having a good time right now? Yeah. Tied for the second best record in baseball right now? Yeah. Best offense in baseball? Yeah. I wear my jersey proud now.
All right. We'll talk more about Indiana and OKC in a little bit. But first,
I'm a Diamondback fan, but I'm a Cub fan first.
Let's talk about this. Folks, you know how it is. Circle K is the best convenience store in the Valley, so make sure you check out their great deals by downloading the Inner Circle app. Their Inner Circle app gets you all the greatest deals up to date in your phone, whether it be a text or on the app itself. But also, it'll save you 25 cents per gallon in your first 5 fill-ups by using that app. And then every single time they do these fuel days, you get to partake in that by using your Inner Circle phone number or the app itself. So hook yourself up today by downloading the Inner Circle app. go to your closest Circle K, hook yourself up with gas, hook yourself up with some of the beverages. You get 5 free beverages on the house. And in addition to that, you get all the hookups for all the deals in terms of the snacks and the food items that they have and all the other bells and whistles that come along with that. So go to Circle K, go to circlek.com, and download the Inner Circle app and see their website for all the latest details. In addition to that, obviously, Branded Bills is one of our favorite partners here at PHNX. You can get your own Branded Bills merch by downloading or actually by going to brandedbills.com and using promo code BBPHNX to save yourself 10% off of your next purchase, which is fantastic. I was actually going through my whole I have like 150 hats. I did not realize I had that many hats, and I swear 50 of them are Branded Bills, and 20 of them are all U of A hats of different colors. It's one of my favorite apparel companies to be able to use. They're breathable wear. Out on the golf course, been playing a lot of golf. Played golf with EJ a couple weeks ago, and Branded Bills is definitely the place to go. So go to brandedbills.com. Use promo code BBPHNX to save yourself up to 10% today. They got Suns merch, ASU merch, U of A merch. And if you're an owner, you can go to their site and they'll download stuff for you as well, or design stuff. So brandedbills.com. All right. Before we get out of here, obviously OKC, Indiana are about to match up. But first, I did want to put a little bit of shade on your boy, Chuck. Today, he was on the Dan Patrick Show. This caught my eye because Chuck had an interesting fashion choice. I don't know why he's wearing the biggest glasses of all time. But
I'm telling you, mine are pretty big, but not like that big.
Oh my goodness. Look at these glasses are huge. But it reminded me of a character from Six Flags. You remember this dude?
That's funny.
I mean, Chuck.
Urkel has some big ones too.
I mean, Chuck, we could do better than this, Chuck, right? We can get better glasses than that.
Hey, look.
And actually, Chuck is going to be on your show today,
on my show, Sirius XM NBA Radio today. Yeah, Charles is going to join us today.
So check it out.
It's on the NBA app too. So people, not only now can you actually hear us on Sirius XM NBA Radio, you can also go to the NBA app, hit the Discovery tab on the bottom right, then hit streaming, and you'll be able to see EJ live now. We're on the NBA app. Again, we were on there 2 years ago. They missed me so much, they put me back on. So 3 hours of EJ. I won't have my Cubs jersey on. I might during the course of the show. But, yeah, I did send you something today. I had to get him, though, Anthony Edwards. You got that?
Oh, no, yeah, we got that. We'll get to that in a second. Yeah,
okay,
cool. I got you.
But, Charles will be on. Look, TNT is over. What a great run they had. The TNT Inside the NBA show is going to go now to ESPN. That's going to be interesting how that works out. Are they going to get rid of ESPN's pre- and post-game show in lieu of Inside the NBA, or is just every now and then Inside the NBA is going to be gone?
According to Chuck, that they will not be on ESPN as much as people think they will be. And that's what he was saying on the Dan Patrick Show. And then they actually did a dry run on TNT to do a show without highlights because they wouldn't have NBA highlight rights. And he said, and I quote, "It was a shit show." So I don't think those guys are too happy about the way this is all playing out. ESPN would be foolish not to have those guys as the full-time pre- and post-game show, regardless of what you think. They're one of the better, most entertaining sports shows out there. I hope they come back in the same capacity to a degree, but it will look different.
Yeah, I'm shocked that Amazon didn't scoop them up, or NBC. I was surprised that it was ESPN.
But to your point, let's bring up. Listen, everything. Was it they say the life is a circle or life is a flat circle or something like that? Well, Anthony Edwards, he trashed the Suns about getting destroyed in Game 7 a couple years ago to the Mavs, and then obviously OKC basically returned the favor to Minnesota, and you decided to bring that back up and say that's why you can't talk ish. Because it's just especially as an NBA player. You never know when you're going to be in that same position.
No, you're going to be in that same position. No, it's not when you are. Like, if you play this game long enough, you're going to have a bad day. Like, there's no shade on Anthony Edwards. I mean, their defense just totally shut him down. But my point is, you have to be careful what you say, because when it comes to like teams struggling or whatever, or players struggling, it's going to come back to haunt you. I woke up yesterday morning, I'm talking junk to some guys I'm getting ready to go play golf with, because I've been beating them like a drum lately. And I got to the golf course, man, I couldn't even hit the ball. Like, when I mean not hit the ball, I can hit it, but I just wasn't putting it where I needed to. And they kicked my butt, and like, you just never know when your day is going to come. And that's life.
Yeah.
Like, so for Anthony Edwards to rip the Suns and talk about, they only scored, what did he say? 19 points in the quarter? And y'all only scored 13 in the first quarter. Like, this comes back to haunt you, man. I'm just having fun with it. They just locked him up. I'm not even blaming him for having a bad series. I mean, that defense they threw on him. I mean, but I just don't like, but don't stop shooting the ball. Like, that's the only problem I had with him. Keep shooting it, dude. You don't pass it. Oh, I thought I had a good game. I did what I was supposed to. Well, you're supposed to shoot it.
Yeah.
You ain't supposed to pass it. You're not Magic Johnson.
I totally agree into your sentiment about like what goes around comes around. It 1,000,000% does. And, again, like, you can't, karma is undefeated. And there are some people out there that will get theirs. And when they don't realize that, their reaction to something could inevitably come down the line and people could have the same reaction about them. That's just life. That is life. That is exactly how things work out a lot of times. So
I want Suns fans to know this. And I'm calling it out right now. Okay? You got to understand something. After this offseason, if they did stay together, you got to understand something. You improve every year. They got two dudes, Ryan Dunn and Oso. You have no idea. Ryan Dunn can show back up here and could potentially be an all-star. I'm just making a point.
Okay.
So understand everybody's going to improve. So that's why you have to be patient. You have to be patient, because as 36 wins, they were not that far away from 50. Go look at the schedule again and look at the games they lost.
Oh, yeah.
It was an easily 50-plus wins. And they threw away a bunch of them down the stretch in the fourth quarter. Couldn't score. All of that. So just go back and look at the schedule. It'll help you. And go back and look at the games that they blew. That's how close they were. So let's, people even saying if they got into the playoffs, into the play-in and got out, what was people saying? That they probably could beat somebody in the first round. It was people saying that.
I'm sure there were some people saying that.
So, but what I'm saying is just be patient and let's see how this all plays out. I'm not guaranteeing they're going to stay the same. If I had to bet, probably not.
Guarantee.
Probably not. But just, hey, like I said, that's why I wore the Cup thing. I was patient, man. And I cried like a baby in 2016.
Before we get out of here, just your...
He don't want me to talk about it. I don't care.
Before we get out of here, prediction on OKC, Indiana. Who you got?
Man.
Look,
the reason why I'm hesitating...
It's hard.
Is hard because Indiana is capable of beating them. But I just don't know. I'll probably, if I was in front of a firing squad, so I guess I am, because, you were in the service. I would probably say
You got 30 seconds. Hurry up.
City.
Right.
Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
In 6.
I got OKC in 6
could
as well.
be 5. Or it could be the Pacers having to do it in 6.
That's another episode of Outside Shots today. You can follow EJ at JumpShot8 on Twitter. You can follow me at Saul _Bookman. You can follow the show at PHNX _Suns. Espo's new show, a new live show 5 days a week is Southwest Bias. That starts here in about 30 minutes. We appreciate y'all for joining us. Oh, actually, super chats real quick. Super chats. We got 2 super chats. One of them is BComC Clearly. She said, we write sins, not tragedies. Shaking my head, Suns for life is what she meant to say, or they meant to say. And then Psycho Blue, B-Ball Cthulhu thinks more fans need to embrace what MSU stands for as a mission statement. Bud was the fan-friendly hire, co-signed by Al, and it was a nuclear disaster. Spartan serve, B-Ball Apollo. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Until next time, peace.
We all silly like the mayor.